been trading sleep for dopamine, stacking wins like sins in a slot machine. I don't trust charts, I trust caffeine, and this voice in my head that says buy the dream. I put my rents on a breakout play, turn 20 bucks into an MBA. Now I'm God in a Discord full of fools, passing off drama as technical rules. Green looks good on me, even if I'm dead inside. I'll be rich and emotionally fried. Green looks good on me, I got bags under my eyes, but my portfolio's high. I'll survive. Talking candlesticks, sleeping ticks. Therapist says I'm addicted to risk, but hey, she charges by the hour while I compound gains like drunken power. My last ex said I was hard to read, so I sent her a chart, S&P. I treat FOMO like foreplay, baby. I make dumb moves look Warren Beatty. Green looks good on me, even if I'm losing friends. At least I got passive income and bands. Green looks good on me, I'll burn out by 33, but I'll YOLO in peace, finally free. Yeah. I'm the king of bad ideas with a Robin Hood crown. I turn therapy into a market rebound. Yeah, I'm charmingly reckless, chaotically blessed with a six-figure ego and zero rest. Ooh, green looks good on me, like a noose made of dollar signs, smiling while I cross those lines. Hey. Green looks good on me, call it luck, call it skill. Either way, I'm paying my therapist bills.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Kohrs Show, where here we are hoping you guys had an absolutely amazing Friday. Hope you had a great weekend. I know I missed the show on Friday, but I had the opportunity to go to a Tasty Trade event, and I actually really enjoyed it. If you guys don't know who Tasty Trade is, they're actually kind of part of the reason why I even know anything about options to begin with. Probably at this point over a decade ago, I stumbled across their content, and it's really just where I learned about options and the Greeks. And then obviously from there, many things have been learned, but whenever I find out that Tasty Trade is throwing an event in the local New York area, I always try to go, just paying a little bit of homage to, I don't know, one of the reasons why I'm still in this game. It was a cool event. If you happen to be there, hey, we should have shook hands. We should have said hi, but they kind of just did a true live trading event where basically before the market open, right at market open, they sold a bunch of premium. They went over a bunch of different strategies. Not necessarily my cup of tea these days. It's not really high octane enough for me, but that's probably because I have a couple things wrong in my brain, and I fully understand and respect their particular strategy. In all reality, in terms of emotional capital, the risk managed way in which they approach the market is probably right for 99% of traders. Alas, I happen to be in that bucket of 1% of traders who needs multi 5-6-figure swings in my account per day to feel anything anymore. So that's kind of where I am at. So my apologies for missing the stream, but the day itself, Friday, was awesome. We pumped into close. We kind of perfectly hit some of these key levels. On one of my secondary accounts, I was able to lock in a nice 25K. That was awesome. And then I have a lot of swing positions that I just kept over the weekend because the trend is bullish. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, the Russell 2000, a lot of our favorite equities, higher highs, higher lows. We're above major EMAs. And when you do a dive into the options market, it's not the best we've ever seen, but it is still overall supportive. We have a lot of positive gamma, and with vol dying off, we're kind of seeing this slow zombie-esque climb higher and higher and higher. And as long as this overall price structure, momentum, and option flow really allows for this, you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to keep betting on it. So I want to obviously give you all those stats, facts, and figures because it is the start of a new week. We'll also get into the seasonality. I do want to let you know that this period right where we are right now is actually one of the most bearish periods of the entire calendar year. So just because historically it's been bearish, it's not a guarantee that this time around is going to be bearish. Of course, it gives you an idea of the headwinds and the tailwinds and all that good jazz. But this time around, if anything, I could argue it's going to be the market's reaction to really just the blowback of monetary policy. We have some interesting updates related to the trade relationships and partnerships on that. Late Friday into this weekend, Trump did some crazy stuff with the H-1B fee, so we're going to talk a bit about that. And then, of course, there's a bunch of news on individual equities as it relates to what's going on in China. We do have some news as it is impactful on TikTok and thus the overall trade situation. We have some Apple news. Apple's actually looking great. If you look at your pre-market stuff, I'm not saying these are the absolute best, but the two tickers that are really catching my eye pre-market are both Tesla and Apple. If you have a quick second, take a look at those charts. They're looking very, very strong. And then I also have a little bit of news related to Oracle, which, remember, the recent performance has now made Larry Ellison the most rich, at least reported man in the world. So we're going to be talking about a lot of that. Friendly neighborhood reminder that if you are trading futures on something like Apex or Take Profit Trader or Tradeify or any of those, don't forget to roll those contracts. If you're on the September contract, it did officially die on Friday. You have to get to the December contract. You have to go from the U contract to the Z contract. So I want to remind everyone about that. Of course, I'll remind you guys about all the major macroeconomic events of the week. And basically from there, we're just going to kind of be ripping it. So I hope you guys had a great day on Friday. I hope you had made a bunch of money. I hope you had an absolutely phenomenal weekend. I had a better weekend than really anticipated. I know this is going to come to a shock to many of you listening to this right now, but I was able to procure a new Buffalo shirt. And this one, folks, one of these days, when I choose to release it to the public, and we're going to have to wait for a very special event, I hope you don't have any socks on, because if you do, they will be knocked clear off. So very, very excited about the weekend that I had and able to add another Buffalo shirt to my collection. But man, oh man, if it's a surprise event and I just rip that thing off and then you guys have socks on, so many of you are going to be so mad. So many of you are going to be so mad because those socks are going to be clear off. So that was probably the biggest event of my weekend. So excited for that one. Very, very excited for that one. So I hope you had an equivalently phenomenal weekend. And with all that being said, let's get rocking. Stock futures fall to start the week after Dow and S&P 500 hit fresh records. So yes, into close on Friday, we exploded to some key technical levels, psychological level, gamma levels, and we actually got a record new high, a record high close. We're giving a little bit back now. Obviously, right here, what we saw in the short term, especially because of zero DTE trading, you could argue that's somewhat related to a bit of a mini gamma squeeze, and then it's no surprise that we're taking a bit of a breather today. The real question is, when we take these breathers, how deep are they going to be? Are we going to start taking out previous day lows because that's not so good, the odds associated with it? Or is it more of a breather to create a higher low, a new base, and then we bounce off of that and continue higher? That's going to be the question of the day. But right now, yes, we are a little bit in the red territory, not that much, about 0.26% on the SPY, about 0.3% on the Qs. The Russell is actually taking a legitimate hit because it sold off. We saw the rotation from the small cap sector into really tech on Friday, and it's down 0.76 on Friday, down another 0.3 early this morning, and then also over the weekend and really early this morning, crypto taking a hit, and we have some news on that. There's actually going to be some crypto-related legislation being decided discussed and voted on this upcoming week. And right now it's making the overall crypto market a little bit antsy, if you will. So that's a quick snapshot. I do want to take a second to take a step back and remind you that we are right about here in terms of seasonality. We are at the part where there's over the past 2 decades, the best 20-ish years, there's a pretty serious sell-off. Let me log back in very quickly. What was my email? What email do I use for this website? I always forget. Is it this one? Hang on one second. What's my password? Nope, that's not it. Use another method. Use this one. Hang on. Hold your horses, folks. This is the life of having far too many emails. But I did want to show you the seasonality of more recent data. Obviously, sometimes people like to trade with more of a recency bias. So this is the past 5 years. Still, September as a month is the most bearish month of the year. But then when you look at the weekly, I do want to let you know that this is kind of the final patch of it. And even though, not allegedly, historically, the past 1, 2, 3 weeks have favored the bears, this particular year has been a counterexample. So it's not the most insane thing to be like, okay, I get that historically this is a bearish period, but maybe we continue to buck the trend. And I think a lot of that is going to have to do with this crypto legislation. Jerome Powell's going to be speaking tomorrow. What he has to say, dovish or hawkish. And in fact, even today, there's a bunch of Fed members voting, FOMC members. They're talking. Depends what they do or don't have to say. We're going to get some updates related to the quote unquote trade war. So that is all stuff that you have to consider on top of this seasonality. Like I said, we do have some big stuff coming down this week. We have some S&P PMI manufacturing and service numbers tomorrow. Nothing really scheduled today besides I think there's like 4 or 5 different Fed members speaking today. But starting tomorrow, we get classic data in the morning. Jerome Powell's going to be speaking midday tomorrow, Tuesday. Fast forward to Thursday, durable goods and the GDP number. And then this Friday to wrap up the week and the last full trading week of September, we're going to be getting another inflation report, the PCE, the personal consumption expenditure. So lots of data stuff coming down this week. And whenever you have a lot of data, especially with the current administration, you also have a lot of drama. And this is the most recent drama. Trump's 100,000 H-1B fee sparks a global race to grab top talent. So we don't have to spend too much time on this. And in reality, I'm not the expert. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but basically over the weekend, we got some updates. And I honestly think if you were to ask me, this is, I think, only happening because of where the tensions are at with our trade deals with India. And this is just another bargaining chip that Trump has, and he's decided to play it. The Trump administration revamp of the H-1B visa program is widely regarded as an opportunity for other major economies. The UK, Europe, Middle East, and Asia are thought to be among those to stand to benefit in the race to recruit top global talent. U.S. companies, however, have also sought to seize this initiative. So if you don't know what the H-1B is, it's a visa to work here, even if you're not a citizen of the U.S. A lot of the times I even personally experienced it. A lot of the people I worked with at my previous tech jobs, especially if they were from India, commonly they were on the H-1B visa. Before this, I believe, and please feel free to fact check me on this, it was a one-time fee of $1,000, and now they're obviously jacking it up 100x. India feels the sting as Trump slaps a $100,000 fee on H-1B visas. So before this, there was a fee. It was just far, far, far less. About 71% of H-1B visa holders in the U.S. are Indian nationals. So this is obviously going to have a big impact. And if you ask me, it has a lot to do with the current state of really where we're at with our trade negotiations, specifically with India. Remember, the most recent update we at least got publicly about this drama was that Trump wasn't too happy about where they're getting their oil from, their connections with China as well, on top of Russia. So things to consider. And actually, right here, we had Bloomberg do a pretty decent breakdown. Here it was. Let me make sure the volume is good enough.
Seeing how the U.S. president is planning to impose a $100,000 fee on the H-1B visa program, and that has triggered confusion for corporate America. It's warnings for workers that have come in as well. And this is even as the White House clarifies that the fee will only affect new visas and not renewals or current holders. For more, let's bring in Bloomberg senior editor Wendy.
I think that's an important part that I don't hear people talking about enough. This is allegedly not impacting current visa holders. This is only for new visas. And I think that's a very important distinction that just people are not really chit-chatting about.
Wendy Benjaminson in Washington for us. So, Wendy, what do we know about this? Is there a chance that this potential announcement could be reversed? How are tech companies in the U.S. reacting so far?
Well, I doubt there's any chance it's going to be reversed. What they did do, however, this weekend is clarify that this new fee applies only to new visa applicants. So anyone who has an H-1B visa, who is in the United States now, or even traveling, or if they're even up for renewal, but they have an H-1B visa, they are not affected by this new fee. This will be for people who win the so-called visa lottery, that will happen early next year. When those people get that lottery, they will have to come up with $100,000, or their company will have to come up with $100,000 in order to move to the United States. But they didn't really say that in the initial rollout, so there's been a lot of confusion and a lot of panic, not only among companies who need to pay these fees for their highly skilled and professional workers, but also among foreign students who are going to have to figure out how to continue their educations in the United States or start an education in the United States and come up with $100,000 to do that. That's going to be very difficult. We have talked to H-1B visa holders around the country. One of them is a government worker in upstate New York who makes $50,000 a year, so coming up with $100,000 would be nearly impossible. So it has caused a tremendous amount of confusion.
This coming at a time, Wendy, when the U.S. president wants to bring more investments into the United States, coming at a time when really brain drain is a key concern. Could this backfire?
Yes, it could backfire. In fact, India has been, we are talking about this today, Indian citizens make up almost 3/4 of the H-1B visa holders in the United States. And a lot of them work for IT outsourcing firms. And a lot of them also work in engineering and other highly skilled professions that require them. And so, yes, this could tremendously backfire if those jobs cannot be filled in the United States, if companies decline to pay the fee. So yes, it could be a brain drain for the United States. Some countries have sort of said, well, that's great. It'll stop the brain drain in our country because we'll be able to keep these people home. But do they have the jobs? Do they have the industry? And also remember that Trump had said that the tariff regime would bring jobs and foreign companies to the United States to invest. But as we saw with the Hyundai plant immigration raids a couple of weeks ago, if those foreign workers are then rounded up as undocumented immigrants who must be deported, I mean, what company is going to take a risk of investing in the United States? So this is a big, risky move on the White House's part.
I think on this, I think there's going to be a large ripple effect that it's really, really difficult to predict what the implications are going to be in the long term. So I'm curious if it's even going to stick. And if it does stick, like I said, I think there's going to be far-reaching implications, some good, some bad, some neutral. But it'll be interesting years from now to see how this ends up. Like, is it going to necessarily be good for the U.S. of all of a sudden? Is there going to be a bigger emphasis on studying STEM to fill all those jobs? Or as they were relating to in this particular discussion, is there just going to be a giant brain drain and then all of a sudden we're not like the tech hub of the entire world? Or is the answer going to be somewhere in the middle? So I just want to let you guys know about this big news over the weekend. And obviously it is somewhat representative of where we're at with our trade negotiations and India. Drilling down into individual companies, we're not in earnings season, but I just want to let you know Micron, for those of you watching this particular semiconductor play, you might want to pay attention to that after the market closes on Tuesday. We will be getting their earnings. And then fast forward to Thursday of this week, Accenture, CarMax, BlackBerry, and maybe you guys are paying attention to Costco. So not really in earnings season, but I just wanted to let you know about that. And keeping with the topic of individual companies, deal to keep TikTok in the US is near. These are the details. The algorithm that suggests content will get an overhaul, but users likely won't need to download a new app, according to a senior White House official. So right now we know there's a couple players in the mix. It sounds like Oracle is definitely in the mix, and they've already been providing cloud services to the ByteDance, TikTok, when they own the US version. Horowitz, the VC fund, they're going to be involved. And also over the weekend, there's a lot of rumors that the Murdochs from Fox, in fact, Fox, their ticker, their actual company, is up because of all the rumors that they're going to be involved. So I'm a little hesitant to say anything definitively about this right now because we're getting close to the deal. And if the Trump administration is known for anything, it's last minute changes and detail updates. So we're going to be covering this to see how it goes. And obviously, as we're talking about H-1Bs and it relates to where we're at with our trade deal with India, TikTok is very much going to be an aspect of the trade deal we have going on with China, which I'm fully expecting more details of that this week. Apple takes control over all core chips in the iPhone Air with new architecture to prioritize AI. So they are very much leaning into this world of their own GPUs, their own processing chips, and it's paying dividends. Obviously, the market is very much liking it. As I said early this morning, one of the ones looking the strongest truly is Apple. Apple's been on a pretty nice tear ever since the start of August, and even drilling into the 30-minute, you could see in pre-market, it gained 3.2% on Friday, and in pre-market, it's up an additional 1%. We've been talking about this ever since the recent technical turnaround on Friday, September the 12th, saying, hey, probably good option to maybe consider this higher low. Maybe you want to sell some puts. Maybe you want to get some calls. And we got that technical breakout and we're getting the follow through. The next technical breakout is also at that key psychological level of 250. And just because we're here talking about it, the other one in pre-market, and I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all list, but the other one that's really catching my eye in pre-market actually is Tesla. So not only do we have the sell-off, the pump, the consolidation, the breakout, the follow-through, we're seeing higher highs, higher lows. It's on top of all the EMA. But then looking at the 30-minute, you could see here a little bit of a weird oblong cup and handle type of a setup. Pre-market, it's up 1.25 after gaining 2.2 on Friday. I'm looking for the push above, I guess we'll just call it 433. 434, this pre-market high from Thursday. I want to see that follow through. And then obviously from there, all eyes are going to be on the technical high at 440, technically 439 and a little bit of change. And then I would argue past that, there's going to be a lot of interest at the key psychological level of 450. But of course, we'll be getting into those throughout the day. And last but not least, I do also want to talk about Oracle. Oracle names Clay and Mike as co-CEOs. So when this was first announced in pre-market, they looked a little bit better and then it took a hit and now we're apparently already bouncing back. The last time I saw is down here. So, hey, I'm not complaining. I do have Oracle calls just to be 100% transparent with all of you. Actually, I also have Tesla calls. Don't have Apple calls though. Very much wish I did. Anyway, whenever I see big moves like this, because of earnings, and technically Oracle missed on earnings, but then they talked about future revenue sources and basically their forward-looking guidance was amazing. So we pop. I didn't want to chase it because generally you have profit taking. We got profit taking, tried to get going, and in all reality, there's a good chance I personally would have been tricked into getting into this. I just was paying attention to other things on Tuesday when it showed a little bit of this bottoming technique. So to be completely honest and transparent with you, the fact that I didn't go long here on Tuesday to try to buy this, it was just pure luck. And in reality, it ended up potentially being a double bottom situation. So I ended up getting in on Friday when we kind of took out this recent high, trying to play the W. Risk is the recent low. I'm looking for the breakout of 320, and then I want the follow through to 330 and ideally 350. Gained 4% on Friday, up another 0.5% in pre-market trading, and I really just want to see it take out basically 311, 312 today. And my very first target would be around 320. So earnings, leaning into more news, not only with the new CEOs, but as it relates to TikTok. So a couple exciting things there as well. So I'm involved in 2 or 3 of those. I also want to just bring up, I'm not in it, but I know people in the Goonie Discord are absolutely destroying this play. Oklo is phenomenal. Now, I'm not going to chase it. The last time to get in was either Tuesday, September 9th, maybe the 11th, somewhere in there. The last time to get in was closer to $73. I'm not chasing this now. But if you happen to be in this play, if you already have a long position, ride the trend. Remember, this is the Pareto principle. 20% of your amazing gains are really, or most of your gains, 80% of your amazing gains are going to come from 20% of your trades. And this is one of those ones that you caught the fish, just ride it. You got a great white on your hands. And I would just say, if you're in it, great, ride the trend. Your goal is to get the meat of the move and only get out when the trend starts to break down. But to chase it at this point, I would argue that your risk is just simply way too far. Do I have any opinion on EOSE? No, not really. This looks like it's a shitty penny stock. No, that's I think as a retail trader, very dangerous to get involved with horrible looking charts like this. Like you see how this is like, just it was a pump, a dump, a pump, a dump. Maybe it's coming back right now, but you see how this is just like very, very different than a stock like this that's been kind of actually just trending up the entire time. I think that's a very important thing. So do I have an opinion? Yeah, my opinion would be go find better stocks to trade. I get the excitement here, but if you don't have a position, and I would argue you're chasing right now, but when you scroll out a little bit, it doesn't take much to realize this is just like not a quality stock. I don't know much about it in terms of fundamentals, just to be completely earnest with you. But I definitely wouldn't invest in a stock that looks like this. Same thing here. Another one. I think Open is if you scroll back, you realize that the company is horrible. The management is horrible. The chart is trash for a reason. But as an active trade, if you got into it, you just keep riding it. And when the trend breaks down, you get out, you take your money, or if you want to double dip, you go the other way and you play it short. Eventually, this will break down. Gravity wins out. When you have a company that is fundamentally horrible, eventually gravity wins. You saw that with GameStop. You saw that with AMC. Well, specifically AMC. At least GameStop has a shot. You're going to see that with Open. You saw that with Workhorse. You see it like time and time again. You're going to see this pattern over and over. You're going to see it with GNS. Like time and time again, I see retail get sucked into trading stocks like this because they're way too short-term focused. They're like, no, but it's going up right now. And they think that all of a sudden the company is going to turn around. But when you scroll back, you realize, oh, no, it's actually a horrible company. And when you have a horrible company, as in horrible leadership, horrible fundamentals, gravity eventually wins out. So as an active trader, yeah, you can make money both ways. But remember, active trading and investing, they seem similar because they're both done within the stock market, but they are wildly different things. So I just want to, I guess, remind everyone of that. And here we have a little bit of time. So like I said, I'm watching Tesla today. I think I do have an Apple. I have a Tesla position. I'm also watching Apple, but I do not have an Apple position. Coinbase caught my eye on Friday. Unfortunately, this morning it is taking a little bit of a hit because Bitcoin itself is getting hit. So I'm looking for that to turn around. CoreWeave, I'm watching to see if there's follow through on this technical breakout. We're right at that trend line right there. Oracle, like I said, I'm already watching this double bottom. Palantir, I got wicked out on Wednesday the 17th. But if you were able to white knuckle that FOMC event and ride this higher, massive congrats to you. It is looking very strong. Broadcom taking a breather, not really showing anything too interesting. We already talked about Apple. The last time to get in was probably on Friday the 12th, but that follow through has been phenomenal. Meta, not really doing too much. Maybe your entry was here on Monday. You're playing off that higher low. I looked at it. I didn't like the option structure at that moment in time, but it's not that far away from an all-time high. Microsoft, also watching this. It does look like it has a higher low. Looks like it wants to follow through. Could be a fake up, but maybe we can slowly and surely grind up to the low 530s. Nvidia looking a little bit like CoreWeave, where it was very strong, taking a bit of a breather, and now it's knocking on the door of a trend line break. So another one to put on your watch list. Robinhood hitting an all-time high. If you caught that on Tuesday the 16th, congrats. Just keep riding it. Your goal is the meat of the move. In Netflix, not doing much, kind of just stuck to that EMA ever since they got rid of that executive board lady. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased towards large tech plays, but as the market opens, we can really dive into whatever exciting stuff you are seeing. And on that particular note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, folks, we are rocking. I forgot to give you these levels. Here are the key levels I'll personally be watching today, as I always do. I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line. Those are generally important technical and psychological levels. A lot of the times they do overlap with big open interest levels. And then beyond that, I have the white box. That is the transition zone for the 0 DTE, gamma, and delta. And then these yellow horizontal lines are the key open interest levels, either of the day or of the day and of a larger time frame. So for the past 3 days, we've been talking about 6650 as nonstop. And once again, that's exactly where we're at today. It's not a true daily chart gap, but a lot of the times I do want to remind you of the market's bias and skew to trade to the previous session's closing value. So today that would be a bullish trade, about 14 points to the upside, opening around 6650, looking for that push to potentially 6664, the closing value on Friday. From there, you're talking about a new all-time high and then a key open interest level at 6675. And if we really get going, I'd be looking somewhere in this 10-point region. That would be the bull case. The bear case would be we fail at the close, we fail in the transition zone, we fail at 6650, something like that. We take out the bottom of the transition zone at 6640, and then that opens up our first target between 6630 and 6625, and then the reach target would be 6600. For me, I always prepare a bull case and a bear case, but I want to let you know, based on the overall daily chart and weekly chart, based on the price structure, momentum, and the current option setup, looking at all of this positive gamma, I have a personal bullish bias of the day. It might be right, it might be wrong, but I'm letting you know that I'm only looking to take advantage of the bull case, and if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen and it's just bearish, well, I'll just end up sitting on my hands all day. So just because so many people are watching and I know we all have different frameworks for the market, I want to let you know where I see the bullish levels and the bearish levels, but I also want to let you know my personal bias, putting on all the data together. What is going on right now? All right, we're seeing, I guess, a rebound. Tesla is looking good. I said I was also watching Apple, so Tesla, we'll watch that one. Apple's looking good. Oracle's green on the day. Meta was trying to go green on the day. I would love to see crypto get going. Look at that start on Apple and Tesla. So curious to see where those are. Remember, we don't need to rush out of the gate. It's one thing if right out of the gate you're like locking in some trades, but to create a position, I find that it's a little bit better to have some patience and just kind of wait and see how the opening session really plays out. Of course, as things get going, I will show you the options level throughout the day. As you could already probably hear, we have alerts popping off. Dude, the SPY is bullish out of the gate. Golly gee willikers, folks. I mean, talk about even the Mag 7 too. Okay, so granted, we only have about 3 to 4 minutes worth of data, but the options flow thus far this morning, the bull should be a little bit happy because we might have this opportunity to pop all the way back up to that closing value and actually get green on the day. Once again, if you're trading the S&P 500, the actual index, SPX, the previous close was 6664. We're currently at 6654. So you have about a 10-point opportunity, which in the SPY is equivalent to about $1. So that would bring us to 663 and some change. I see Tesla popping. I see Apple popping. I called those out before the market opened as like a major watch list for me. Excuse me. I do have a Tesla position. I do not have an Apple position. I have an Oracle position, which is looking fine. Don't have a Meta position. I have a coin position that's probably horrible this morning. I have a CoreWeave position that's probably horrible this morning. I dropped my Palantir position. Well, I got wicked out. That was a bummer. Avago, I don't have that. Microsoft, no. And did I pick up NVIDIA? I actually forget at this point. Let me, NASDAQ, Tesla, SPY, Oracle, no, CoreWeave, and Coin. So I don't have NVIDIA. I don't have Palantir. That's a bit of a bummer. But Tesla, I'm finally back into the green on. I've been babying this position for a minute, so I'm very excited to see it battling out at 435. I have 440 calls for not this Friday, but next Friday. I'm up about 15%, a nice 29% swing around today. So nice to see that finally back in the green. What else I'm in the green on? I am in the green on the NASDAQ. I'm in the green on the SPY, and I'm in the green on Oracle. I'm in the red on CoreWeave, and I'm in the red on Coinbase as of now. But remember, there's a lot of time left in the day. Either getting a breakout or breakdown on open. I don't know which one. Breakdown. Okay. This might be the end of a cycle. I mean, I had a little premature breakdown alert. Obviously, it's going to get concerning below 742. You have a downside gap fill to 645. So I was just looking to see if we swept that shelf. Is there an upside gap fill? Technically, there's an upside gap fill too to 935. Edit, crossing up. We'll save that one. So upside gap fill and then downside gap fill as well if you're in open. I have no play on that. I've seen these types of plays before. It generally does not end well. There's a lot of retail investors who are uninformed. And when I say uninformed, they don't realize the game that they are playing. Dude, Tesla's going. They don't realize that this is very much an orchestrated pump and dump. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing through the lens of being able to make money. No, if you're familiar with it, yeah, you can make a ton of money. But I fear that there's a lot of people who can't move quickly enough to sidestep the train when I guess it's coming barreling down the track. So I'm not against it through the lens of making money. I think you'll be able to make a bunch of money on open as a bull and as a bear. But I think the people who are drinking the Kool-Aid thinking that this is some sort of phenomenal investment, I think they're going to end up losing a lot of money because we've all been there. You put on blinders, and remember, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is price. As much as people might put together either compelling or even uninteresting arguments, what matters is price. You're either making money or you're not. And I think we've all been there where you know you're in a play that you shouldn't be in and it's breaking down, but you're holding on to hope for whatever reason. And I fear that that's going to trip up a lot of retail traders who are currently involved in open. Saw this dude ask his Tesla take somewhere has never been. The Tesla took him to Planet Fitness. That's actually hilarious. What kind of Kool-Aid? Something crazy. Something crazy. All right, where was oh, I forgot to tell you. I just wanted to show you. I haven't traded at all. I had a wild day on Friday. It's a very, very long story, but what happened on Friday, you're going to notice that I now have performance accounts. I got upgraded to performance. And at first, you might applaud that. You might be, but Matthew, that's amazing. You passed the test. Congratulations. And you are right. But there is more. You're just giving it a surface level, I guess, a surface level breakdown. For my astute viewers, for my Sherlock Holmes level detective viewers, you're going to say, congrats on the PA accounts, but why are they 50,000? Why did you somehow get performance accounts of 50,000 when you were trading 150,000? Exactly. Right here, Yeegus fan, whatever that name is. Exactly. Here's what happened. So, as you guys know, I have been toiling away, working on the newest version of Icarus. And recently, I've been working on a variant that I refer to as Optimus within Icarus. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm feeling the data coming in is great. The backtesting is great. There's a couple kinks here and there to figure out. But overall, your boy is stoked. That's the TLDR. And seriously, every night for hours and hours and hours, I've been hammering on this particular project. And I'm getting it to a point where it's like pretty stable. I like it. I like the results. And what I do is, you know what, Matt? You've been pretty degenerate with this stuff recently. Why not just take a little bit of a breather? And let's start trading MNQ instead of NQ. So instead of trading the minis, I was like, okay, Matt, trade the micros. The entire goal was on the large accounts, the 150K accounts, to really let these horses purr. My goal was to trade 10 MNQ, equivalent to 1 NQ, because I wanted to scale out 5 of the MNQ and then ride the other MNQ. Great. Awesome. I think that's actually a very reasonable way to approach this. And I do that. I set up the code. I'm trading 10 MNQ. The goal is to scale out 5, scale out the other 5, 150K account. The equivalent of trading 1 NQ is very manageable. It's smart. It's good from a risk reward perspective. So I set that all up. I'm feeling amazing. I'm stoked for this code to rip. Slowly but surely, I'm getting it to exactly where I need it to be. So I set it up. I go to the Tasty Trade event, and I come back from the Tasty Trade event, and the only way I could describe what I saw when I returned was a digital murder scene. There was red everywhere. My screens were bleeding. And I saw some of the biggest red loss numbers you can possibly manage. My eyeballs weren't big enough to see it. And I was like, what happened here? And then I'm diving into it. I was like, how did my code break? And then right away, as any good trader, I start blaming other people. I'm like, nope, internet got disconnected. That doesn't make sense. Something happened. Like right away, any good trader will tell you that when things go right, it is all because of you and how smart you are. When it's wrong, it is not your fault. Something else outside of your control impacted you. And that's the first thing I do. I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, nope. The internet got disconnected. I'm already thinking of ways to email Apex and demand my accounts back, this, that, the other thing. And it's honestly because I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was like, this is actually pretty nuts. Like, what's happening here? And then after research, actually, have some of you already figured out what happened? I'm sure some of you watching this already know where this story is going. I look at the code. I'm talking to Claude and ChatGPT and Grok. I'm like, what happened? What broke down? And all the AIs are like, no, it's functioning like as expected. And I look at the time of the trades. I'm like, no, that's right. Like, what's going on here? Forgot to change it to MNQ. Turns out I left it on the NQ chart. And instead of trading 10 MNQ while I was away, not watching my screen, the strategy was trading 10 NQ contracts at a time. And it clearly did not go well. So it in fact wasn't even a code issue. It was literally just, did I put on the right chart? So that's how it went. Yeah, it fucked me up. It wasn't MNQ. It was NQ, and it was horrible. And then now at this point in the story, you're like, okay, that makes sense. You're stupid. That's not a surprise to anyone. But how did you end up with the 50K PA accounts? Well, that's also an interesting aspect to the story. Like any good trader who just blows out and refuses to take, I suppose, ownership or responsibility for their own fuck up, I do what every good degenerate trader does, and I went on tilt and I started revenge trading. And this time I intentionally started trading 10 contracts instead of accidentally doing it. And then I just got really, really lucky with the second round of 10 contracts, and they all passed very, very quickly. But better than that was I wasn't trading it just on these 50Ks to get them passed. I actually was trading it on my 150K tradeifys, which for some reason I didn't hook those up. So those accounts were still alive. So they were only there for the second time I was trading the 10 NQs. And look at that. I got this one all the way up to like almost 10K plus in profit. This one's 7K in profit. So I have these two. This one's been dead forever. So it was a wild day on Friday. It was a wild day there on Friday. And that's just a little bit about me. You know, team, just a little bit of insight into my thoughts. Noob Kohrs. Not really noob. I would say veteran. I think you could say dipshit Kohrs. I think you could say retard Kohrs. I think you could say regard Kohrs. I think you could say undisciplined Kohrs. I think you should say dipshit Kohrs. I think those are all very fair, always very, very fair breakdowns and analysis of how I handled that. Lucky, absurdly lucky. Well, unlucky, leading into very lucky. I think those are all very, very accurate. I think it's actually honestly getting to the point where, like, if I were you guys, if I were viewers of this show, I would start to wonder, is he cognitively impaired? Like, I think at this point, especially for those of you who've been around for a hot minute or two, like, there's enough data out there. Like, this isn't coincidental. This isn't just like, oh, correlation anymore. Like, I think, honestly, we should probably live stream me going to like a neurologist or something, or getting a brain scan, because like it's getting to the point where like seriously you're like, what, his brain's not doing what it should be doing. Like any other organ, this one is not working properly. I think that's a very fair thing for you guys to all ask. A very fair thing for you guys to all ask. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you in the slightest. Oh, what do we have here? 56, 56.75. So the SPY just made a new intraday high. The Qs almost did. Tesla's looking somewhat decent. We just got through the 15 minutes. Technically, the SPY broke to the north side on the 15-minute Orbo. The Qs got close. Seems as if there's maybe a little bit of profit taking going on right now. A wee bit of profit taking. A wee bit. This is getting interesting. Here's a look at the flow. The Mag 7 strong, took a little bit of a breather at 937, but then once again regained its momentum. The S&P 500 was strong up until that same time. Well, technically 2 minutes later, 938, took a hit, maybe trying to reestablish its footing. A little bit concerning that SPX. Well, hang on a second. So SPY hit a new intraday high, but SPX has not. That's a little bit interesting for sure. Interesting to say the least. Interesting to say. So what time is it? It's 9:48. Interesting. What is the current ATR? 9 points. 9 points. All right, what are the big guys doing this morning? Slight net sellers. Interesting. Across the New York Stock Exchange, the whole universe of the New York Stock Exchange. The SPY, how are we looking over here? There's the daily. We haven't, on SPY, we took out the intraday high. On SPX, we have not yet. That high is 56.61, and we're at like basically 55. So we're close. Seemingly a little fake out breakdown here at 6650, finding some support about 10 minutes into the day. We got a little bit of a pop there. Not a bad deal. A little, yeah, actually kind of if you took that 10-minute Orbo breakdown, that's a little bit of a tricky one for sure. A little bit of a tricky one for sure. Okay, well, the Qs just went through and got their break as Tesla's going. We're definitely, well, Mag 7's popping right there. Tesla's actually also popping. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, all bullish now. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute. Okay. The bulls are showing up today. What is the 9.65? All right. What do we have going on here? It's going for a 10-pointer. A little bit of a delayed entry there, though. That's a bit weird. Look at that slippage. That's a 2 points of slippage, unfortunately. Huh. Oh, I don't feel like taking on that much risk on these first accounts. I feel like I should be a little bit smarter. Feels like it should be a little bit smarter. Looks going for a 1 ATR gain on the 1 minute chart. So the ATR on the 1 minute, the average true range, somewhat of a measure of volatility, for the on the 1 minute is 10 points, and it looks like that's roughly what it's going for right here. A little bit different depending on its fill, as you could see across the board. Actually, a lot of stuff got kind of a uniquely shitty fill. Well, that's weird. Actually, they all got a pretty shitty fill. Well, that's a bummer. That's not cool. So this one got the best fill by 2 points. It's one thing if you have like a point of slippage. Huh. We're going up to 70 on that bad boy then. All right, 65 and 70. So basically, I needed to take out the current pit session intraday high here at 65. There's not many sellers. There's a little bit, but I see most sellers kind of lining up at 875 up here. Once again, this is for the NQ contract for December, which if you're having like weird issues with futures trading this morning, there's a good chance you didn't update your contract from September to December. So I'm looking for it ideally to take out 65. There's some people trying to sell at 70. That's where I'm trying to get out. But most I see right now are on the sell side looking at 75. We did have some buyers down here at 51. They just disappeared and some of them lowered it to 70, which is also the POC, the point and control. So hopefully that can hold and we'll see how this all plays out. Orders are super sluggish this morning. Oh, well, at least it's not just me. I had some really strange issues this morning in terms of like computer speed and whatnot. I was having a hell of a time with like just some ChatGPT stuff and code generation. Tesla's still looking good. I should probably wait, we already did this. Sign up for the newsletter. You guys have heard me. If you've watched the show before, you know I give out a free newsletter. Sign up for it. It's free. No one's ever had to pay for it. You're never going to have to pay for it. Comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for the major macroeconomic events, and then the seasonality of each individual trading day. So make sure to check that out. It's in the description of the video. And all right, yeah, they're loading up at 75. I shouldn't have that tough of a time getting a fill at 70 then. I'm front running it to the tune of 5 points. Come on. What did we actually hit there? We hit 67. Come on. Hey, Macarena. Let me do a quick, just because I already see some comments that you guys are pretty stoked, and rightfully so, about Tesla. Let's see what some realistic levels might be. Let's see where the big players are playing it. So we closed at 26. The breakout is 435, which I believe we're already above today. So that's a big win. We're kind of talking 450, 460. You have some negative gamma at 450, and you actually have a lot of negative gamma at 460, but the biggest negative gamma is all the way up at 500. Remember, this is all expirations put together. I'm not talking about for this Friday. I remember big money comes from riding big trends. So I'm watching 460. I'm watching 470, somewhere in there. High vol point is at 475. And then let's look at it minus the next expiration. Okay, so we are in negative gamma, not counting this Friday's expiration. Yeah, from a technical level and a little bit of a gamma level, I'm watching 450. I'm looking for this support to hold at 435. So 450 followed by 460 with a big emphasis on 460 and a reach target of like just above 470. How did I not get a fill? Are you kidding me? Is it going to be one of those days? How many times have I streamed this to you guys where like I'm the dipshit in this situation? My fill, you've seen it for a while, at 70. And it goes to 69.75. I got as close as you can be without getting a fill. It's just, dude, I am one of those guys. That's crazy. Come on. There we go. Not a bad day. Good start. Fresh accounts up 393, and then I doubled it up on these larger accounts, so they're up 776. Good start. Money. I'm hoping Tesla can keep going here. Obviously, Tesla's looking good. Oracle, would love for it to push 315. Meta, dude. Coinbase is trying to fight back, but it did get slapped. I would love for this to get back in the green today. Same thing with CoreWeave, sold right out of the gate. Palantir, a little bit of a breather, but it's been on such a rip lately. Avago did pump, giving it back. Microsoft. All right, we're getting some breakouts. I could have rode that for that continuation. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal, folks. It's a decent start. We're not 30 minutes in. We're only 25 minutes in, so we haven't seen the 30-minute Orbo. The Qs are making the battle to go green again, and so is the SPY. We're about to attempt to do the red to green move. Here's a quick peek at the options flow. The Mag 7 is long and strong. The SPY is long and strong. Large players sold a little bit of the New York Stock Exchange this morning, but overall, you can see that this options flow is dominant. With respect to the key levels, we are now on top of the transition zone. So we found support at a key open interest level. We're at the top of the transition zone. As I said back here, remember, the market has a high likelihood of hitting the previous day closing value, which we still have not done yet. There are many people in this world who, as soon as it opens, they play it in the direction to the previous close because of those odds. Obviously, you could get better at it by knowing the day of the week, the size of the gap. There's other analysis you could do to basically try to sidestep the bad beats. But on days like today, where overall we're in a bullish market, this was a bit of a mini gap down. We're not that far away. This is a strong play. There are many people who do that, and it's for good reason, because this is a nice 14-point gain. And they just kind of play throughout the day. Obviously, you're going to want to add in some risk management. But when we hit 6664, don't be surprised if there's a little bit of an adverse reaction, because you're going to have the players who are playing that locking in their profits. So also, that's something you could consider. If you have no trading strategy whatsoever, maybe that's somewhere you want to start off, is playing to the previous closing value on the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, the Russell 2000, the Dow. Those are all things that you could very much consider. They have strong odds. I wouldn't necessarily recommend trading them out of the gate, just because there's a couple things you can learn here and there to improve the strategy. Right there, the Q's already got their gap fill. But it is maybe a good starting point, especially if you're newer to the world of trading and you're like, I don't even know where to get going. Dude, I like the attempted recovery in coin. I like that. That's not a bad deal. Bitcoin is at 113 right now. Open, is it vomiting? No, it's reversing the other way. So it got the upside gap fill now on open. So it was almost this fake out breakdown in the high eights and just got the upside gap fill on OPEN. OPEN. The O pen. S&P 500 inside bar as of now close to the all-time high. SPY is the same thing. Q's same thing. Russell, a little bit of weakness. Ended up hitting the all-time high, hitting key resistance, taking a little bit of a breather right now. Tesla getting that technical breakout at 440, and I know the next technical high, we'll watch 450, and then we'll watch 465, but the next gamma level is technically 460. So I guess I'm watching 450, 460, 465, because that seems to be the mixture between technical levels, psychological levels, open interest levels. And then I'm obviously going to put this alert for a reversal. Let's see how that is doing for me. Not a bad trade. You know, I've seen worse. Currently up net 9 on the day. It's reversed about 11, almost 12,000 in my favor. Not a bad deal at all. And actually, as you can see, I'm doing this all on Public, and this is the perfect time for me to chit chat about today's stream partner, Public. First of all, make sure you read that legal disclosure. Understand that when you're in the market, there is risk. Don't be silly about it. Please respect your risk. Please respect your leverage. But you guys know that I've been public, or really matched up with Public for, I guess at this point, what, 2 years, a year and a half, and it's for good reason. I think it's the best place to trade options, and my argument is very easy to understand. There is no other brokerage that gives you a rebate when you trade options. Doesn't matter if it's calls or puts. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Doesn't matter if it's a multi-leg strategy. You'll get more rebates. There are no commission fees and no per contract fees when you're trading stocks and ETFs. Yes, they have stock trading in itself. There's no payment for order flow. They have bond trading. They have crypto trading. They have high yield accounts. They have retirement accounts. This is a one-stop shop for what you need. Check it out. Remember, you can be on multiple brokerages. It's not like you have to just be married to one. So I'm not saying this necessarily has to be your only exclusive one, but I think it's another one that you should put in your slate of portfolios because this is too good to pass up in my humble opinion. So check it out. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. The major reason I've been with these guys beyond the money aspect, such as like the rebates, I just think it's a smarter place to trade. I believe that this is the main brokerage ever really 2020, 2021 that has proven that it cares about you, the trader, as the real client, rather than some of these other ones who are doing anything in their capabilities to make the market makers happy. So I just feel a little bit more comfortable with a company that has my back rather than the market maker's back. And it really doesn't take much research to realize that is many other brokerages. So because of that, because I feel like I'm truly supported by them, and then on top of it, even if that does or doesn't resonate with you, the fact that you can get rebates. So if you're an option trader, an aspiring option trader, it's kind of like a no duh thing to me. So check it out. Use that link because the rebates, it's a tier system. You're going to start off at a higher tier if you use that link. Like I said, free to download, free to sign up, free for you to check out. And when you start messing around with it, I think you're going to very rapidly realize why I like it as much as I do. So it's kind of like a riskless way for you to see what this brokerage is all about. And then if you choose to, you can actually start trading with them. And I think you're really going to be pleasantly surprised. So check that out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And obviously a specialty shout out to Public. And I just remember to talk about that as we're watching this grow and grow and grow. So I just kind of, by no way am I saying that you guys should be involved in this one. If anything, I would argue that Tesla's, the rocket's already taken off. Remember, this is all a game of risk management. But I just remembered here. And remember, when I got into these 18, if I got in and out at the same value of 1440, I actually would have been net ahead because I would have gotten the rebate when I bought the calls and sold the calls. So I would have been able to double dip on the rebate. I would have been net ahead even if I got in and out at the exact same value. If you have to appreciate how powerful that is a very, very powerful thing. And then on top of that, not only did I get to double dip buying the call, and if I were to have gotten out of the call, but then multiply by 18 because I got 18 of those contracts. So not only am I making the money in the unrealized return, but add on all the rebates, and then slowly but surely they just add up and add up and add up. The last time I checked out my rebates, it was thousands of dollars. Actually, I might be able to show you guys in real time where my rebates are at. I always forget where to track these bad boys down. Where rewards, transfer account, have a promo code, reward history. Okay, I see all those rewards, but where do you see the total value? History, cost basis, rewards. There was a place to see, I know I'm at level 4, access unlocked, transfer an account. Where do you see learn more, invest, market, security, documents, trade prep? Well, if someone in chat knows to see where the total, because I can see these rewards. Access unlocked, that's the premium. Learn more about rebates. They do a full video breakdown. It's on their website. You could check that out. But like I said, check it out. You don't have to take my word for it. You can do your own research. In fact, I implore you to do so. Pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Use that link because you'll start out at a higher rebate tier. And I want to know where my rebate tier is at. Well, I know I'm in the highest rebate. Generated assets, developer API, ask alpha, calendar, customize. Is it in this? Brokerages. I thought it was in rewards. Settings, cost basis, deposit, appearance, position value, report a bug, stay connected. Is it? It has to be in rewards somewhere. I always have it. And then I finally eventually find it. Learn more about these benefits. No, that's not it. I always end up finding it and I'm like, oh, I got to remember that for next time. And then I don't. But this comes back to really how we started off the show. Remember when I argued that at this point, if you're watching, you definitely know that there's some severe cognitive impairment, without a doubt. Severe cognitive impairment. I'll find it. I'll let you know. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to promise myself that I remember it, and then I'm going to forget it. Anyway, the Qs are officially green on the day by a cent, and the SPY is not far away. If you decided to take that play, it looks like it's going to be pretty solid, 664. New trader strategy, enter high-low touch, a bias equals VWAP, trigger, RVOL greater than 1.5 minus 2. Am I on track? Suggestions. That might work. You have to backtest it. I find that a lot of traders come up with this idea and they do this thing where it's like kind of a sanity check where they're like, oh yeah, I saw that it worked in the market. I looked at the last like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 days of data and it seemingly would have worked. That might be amazing, but backtest it. And really, at this point, no one actually has any excuse to not backtest. Before this, unless you had a coding background or a stat background or just had a desire to learn about coding, I kind of understood it. But now with the rise of AI, it is so comically easy to backtest any trading strategy without any coding knowledge. So right there, you're entering at a high-low touch. Bias is VWAP. Well, inherently, at the high or the low, you're going to be above your VWAP, so that seems redundant. Your trigger RVOL is greater. That might be good, but also my question is, sanity check accurately describes my intent of that super chat. Yeah, but you don't want a sanity check because it's very, very easy then to find something that backs up your bias. And that's a tough thing in the market is you want to set, like, whenever you come to the market, obviously we all want to find that like golden goose, you know, like we have a bias that we hope any of our ideas is that like that money machine. So that's why you almost have to be like cold and emotionless and approach it purely through just like your quantitative research. Put it in and be like, okay, it was this strategy profitable over the last week, over the past month, over the past quarter, over the past year? What was the strong points? What were the weak points? And like I'm saying this as a person who like I fall for this trap all the time. You do all this research, all this effort, and then the like history spits out the results of how you would have done. And not only are you break even, but it's like a losing strategy. And you're like, Jesus, come on. And it really is tough, like psychologically, because like I mean, I say this in the Discord all the time, and anyone in the Discord will attest to this who's done it. Any of you in chat will agree with this. When you are looking for a mechanical, systematic trading strategy, 99 times, like 99% of your effort, it's gonna almost feel as if it's worthless because you're gonna find a bunch of ways to not make money. That's the God's honest truth. And obviously that can get a little bit demoralizing. It can definitely get a little bit demoralizing. But the reason you do it is because of the outsized return of when you find that 1 in 100 that actually truly is a profitable trading strategy. So if you are anywhere on that journey, on that path, I'm telling you, don't get discouraged. I know it can feel crappy. It feels like you're hitting your head against the wall. It feels like you're going nowhere. And sometimes it's the most random thing ever that helps you with your breakthrough. Like I'm telling you, I've been there, and it feels like a lot of days and weeks and months. And you're like, dude, I am making no progress whatsoever. But it's one of those things where like no progress. And it's not like, oh, I'm slowly getting closer. It's almost like a light switch. All of a sudden you get the right combinations of variables, or you avoid the right trading days of the week. And all of a sudden you're like, dude, this is like actually printing money right now. So I get it. I've been there. Sometimes it's just like, you feel like you're in the depths of it and you're like, this is just fucking stupid. But please remember, one of the thoughts that I carry with me in those types of events is, remember your other option. Like if you're getting discouraged and you're like, whatever, remember the other option is almost guaranteed loss. Like all of a sudden, if you're not trading with any strategy, if you're just trading because it looks strong, it looks weak, and you're not taking in measurable input, like if you're just doing it off of vibe, that the one thing I can promise you in all of this is that's a guaranteed way to lose money, especially in the long term. Obviously on any individual trade, whatever, 50-50 shot. But in the long term, if you are not working on a cohesive, well-defined strategy, it is only a matter of time before you blow out. So the other pathway isn't easy, but at least you have a shot of making money. The first pathway, which is a lot easier, and we all get attracted to it at one time or another, is we all want to be like discretionary manual traders, like that type of shit. I get it. It's attractive. It's easy. And we all want to be that guy, that person. But it ends in disaster. And this is coming from a person who have like literally had exposure to hundreds of thousands of retail traders. And I'm telling you this, there is no person on this planet who is a day trader or a scalp trader doing it manually, and they are net profitable on any serious time frame. And when I say serious time frame, I mean in excess of 1, 3, 5 years. If you be like, hang on, this guy made money yesterday. Yeah, whatever. It's a 50-50 shot. At market open, you could take a person who's never traded before in their life, and if they just arbitrarily picked open and long at open and just went 10 NQ contracts, they would be up a lot of money. That doesn't make them a good trader. I'm telling you this. In terms of day trading and scalp trading, first of all, your odds of being profitable increase the longer your time frame. So if you want to have a better chance of being successful, your odds go up from the 1 minute to the 5 minute, the 5 minute to the 10 minute, the 10 minute to the 30 minute, the 30 minute to the hour to the 4 hour, the 4 hour to the daily to the weekly. Every time frame you increase, your odds of success increase. This could be a whole nother discussion, a whole nother lecture, but the headline of why this is the shorter your time frame, the data itself, the 1 minute chart, the 100 tick chart, it's actually becomes closer and closer to being indistinguishable from noise, which is a fancy mathematical statistical way to say that it's random, as in purely random. So that's something to consider. So right now, if you're at a point in your trading career where you're like, hey man, I'm like kind of getting beat up and like, this isn't fun. The one thing you could probably do is start increasing your time frame. Go from day trading and scalp trading to swing trading. You could go from swing trading to investing. The longer your time frame, the odds of your success do increase. The catch-22 here is if you are very good at a shorter time frame, the ceiling is far higher, because you have so much more data, so much more opportunity to make money. So that's kind of like the switch off there. And that's why you have to find that sweet point where you're like, okay, I'm getting enough trades, I'm getting enough data points, I'm getting enough opportunity, but I'm also at a point where I have a reasonable amount of like potential success. So that is something that a lot of these gurus and furus on the internet don't want to tell you. Because they very much want you to be interested in this concept of day trading and scalp trading. But I will let you know this. I've been trading for over a decade. I've had a public-facing content career for now about 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the time is. I've been involved, and in one way or another, I've communicated with like hundreds of thousands of retail traders. I'm telling you this. There is no such thing as a net profitable discretionary gut feel trader on any serious amount of time frame. And if you think that there is, ask them for their trade results. Be like, hey, I want to see how you've done over the past 1, 3, and 5 years. And then they do that awkward thing where they start clamoring and they're like, no, I can't show you because like it's actually illegal for me to show you that, or my dog ate my brokerage statements and sorry, I can't prove it. And then they'll play the game. Well, no, I was profitable last week. Okay, like 1 week doesn't mean shit. If you make 10K in 1 week, but like the months before you lost $300,000, who gives a fuck? It just... some food for thought. Make sure you're chasing goals that are realistic. And one of the most realistic things you could do is twofold. You can increase your time frame. You could go from scalp trading really to swing trading. And another thing you could do is go from discretionary gut feel type of bullshit to actually a mathematical driven way to approach the market. The Matt Kohrs Show, can you take a look at Visa? What are your thoughts? Play the breakout daily chart, maybe the gap fill. Whoa, I just broke a table. God damn it. Visa financials have been doing decent lately. I'm not seeing a breakout yet. I'm seeing a lot of consolidation. I see what you're looking for though. I wouldn't mind the breakout, but the breakout has not started. It's still downsloping. I'm seeing lower highs and lower lows, and I'm not seeing much of action recently. So if it starts to show actual strength, I might then consider it. But to arbitrarily do it right now, I do like the fact that it finally put in a higher low here recently. So now we're kind of in this consolidation phase, but it doesn't seem like it's close to breaking the consolidation. So honestly, what I would do is I would set an alert on this breakout, on this breakdown, and also potentially the recapture of the 50 EMA. And then I wouldn't do anything until I heard those results or heard that alert. And then from there, I would then look at the options market and see where the big players are setting up. Is it positive gamma, negative gamma? How far away are the major open interest levels? That type of stuff. I would be hesitant about this though, because remember, Visa is going to be making its money as more and more people specifically use their credit cards and pay their credit card bills. And recently we've been seeing that the jobs number is weak, and that makes me concerned of like, okay, is credit card use going to go up? Are they going to pay their loans off? So there's a larger things that I would want to consider with it, but I wouldn't even consider that until I see some alert go off, because right now I see nothing but consolidation. So if I had to play this, if you're saying like, no, you have to play Visa right now, I would sell premium. I would use theta to my advantage. I would use delta decay to my advantage. I would sell premium at a 15 delta, maybe I iron condor it. If you have a directional bias, maybe you don't iron condor it. Maybe you just pick one side. But that's one where you could probably do the classic tasty trade, sell the 45 days out, look to capture 50% of the premium and manage it at 21 days. Like, that's what I would do. This, for me right now, in the way I approach the market, I don't see a directional play right here, and I really don't like a play at all. But if I had to, I would sell premium, and I would just let it kind of die, slowly but surely die. Thoughts on BBAI? This is a play that a lot of people ask about. I have no position on it. It's just an AI play. I don't like the chart at all, which is why I never played it. If I'm going to play something relating to the world of AI, I'd play a stronger looking chart. But with that, I do admit this is a nice higher low. I would say the entry was kind of back in here, kind of last week or a week and a half ago. Feels like you're a little late to the party. Getting in at 6 is brutal when not long ago it was at 470. So that's quite a bit of risk. So it's consolidated. It's also not bullish. That's a lower high. These are higher lows. So it seems like it's a giant consolidation. The ones that have been catching my eye recently, and I missed these as well, it's just like you could see there's relatively a lot more strength. Rigetti, IONQ, the whole quantum computing, qubits, these have all been ripping. So if they dipped and put in a higher low, that's what I'd be looking for. But BBAI, it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look good. Remember, none of us have infinite amount of capital. So you have to be capital efficient and put your money in plays that like you have an opportunity. And right now, literally, I just see giant consolidation, lower highs, higher lows, set up those alerts for the breakouts or breakdowns and see if you can attack it with a low risk opportunity. But right now, to me, it's a non-play. And I know that's kind of a bummer of a response, but remember, in the universe of tradable, investable, liquid assets, most at any given point in time are a non-play. Most of trading is you sitting around saying, I don't know, maybe. Like that, truly, that's what it like. A lot of the times, that's what you are forced to do. So don't get bummed out when I'm like, nope, non-play. That's going to be the answer for 95% of tickers and setups right now. And what you have to do is basically develop the patience to be okay with that and wait for that small percentage opportunity where you see a nice momentum play with a nice setup and low risk, and you can get in at the right time with the right events, and ideally without like a crazy binary announcement coming out the next day. But that's a lot of what trading is. It's sitting around and just waiting for that setup. So don't get bummed out by it. Just kind of understand, be like, yeah, a lot of trading in like all that stuff, you just sit around like just waiting and waiting and waiting. Thoughts on Rich Tech Robotics, RR? It's breaking out. You said you're in at $1.82, so you got in here, or at most recently you got in around here. It's a breakout. I see a nice entry here at 268, risking 236. I wouldn't chase it now, but I think the last time you realistically could have gotten in was on Monday the 8th or on Thursday the 11th, risking these recent wicks. You're riding it. I don't like it because it's a shitty penny stock, and I get why, and I was there myself. As a retail trader, generally we don't have the biggest accounts to trade with. So you're like, okay, well, if I don't have a big account, I need to make more money because that's what's impactful to my life, which means I need a bigger percentage return. And then that's why so many retail traders are attracted to the world of penny stock trading, or like small nominal value because you're looking for those big percentage returns, please understand that those companies have those small of market caps for a reason. It's because they're not good companies. So I get it. And I can't tell you you're going to lose money trading penny stocks. I know people who that's their bread and butter. That's what they do, and they make a lot of money. But I do want you to know that it is very, very difficult, especially relative to blue chip stocks. So generally when I see these small float, small market cap companies, I avoid them. The edge in that world is to wait for the pump and then short it and then make money off the dump. There's a lot of retail traders who are not set up to be short traders. So they just try to ride every single penny stock pump. And I mean, it's possible. It's just really, really, really difficult. And I think it's a bit of a poor assumption to think that you individually are somehow the person that's going to buck the trend. The people that I know trading penny stocks who are profitable, you don't want their life. All they do 20 hours a day is the most obscure research on the most obscure companies, and they are sitting there day in and day out memorizing every single pattern and variant and piece of news related to companies who don't really matter at all. It takes an extraordinary amount of work, and even then it's definitely not glamorous, but in terms of like the amount of opportunity and like what you can do in it, it can be very brutal. It can be very, very, very brutal. So I would definitely caution against the whole penny stock world. Definitely caution against it. I'm not saying it's impossible. If you're watching this right now and you're like, my daddy was a penny stock trader, my daddy's daddy was a penny stock trader, and my daddy's daddy was a penny stock trader. So gosh darn it, I'm going to be a penny stock trader. If that's what you think your life calling is, have at it. Don't let me get in your way. I just want you to know and have an appreciation for the absurd uphill battle that you are signing up for. Is it possible? Yes. Is it easy? No. But no aspect of trading is easy. There are easier things than other things, but I would say penny stock trading is uniquely difficult. Gamma apple? Do you mean granny apple? I don't like granny apples. I think honeycomb is where it's at in the apple world. If I had to eat an apple, it would either be one of those Fuji ones or honeycomb. But that's just me. I think the Macintosh ones, those like really red ones, they always suck. They look cool, but they suck. The granny apples, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever those weird ass yellow ones are, they could be fine too. But if it's dark red or if it's really green, I'm not eating it. It's just, that's not my kind of apple. It's just not. It's just not. You know. I know that's a little bit controversial. I get it, but it's just who I am. Hey, you guys didn't tell me Oracle's picking up. Thanks a lot, guys. Oh, it's Honey Crisp, not Honeycomb. See, shows even how much I know about apples. Shows how much I know about apples. But dude, those dark red ones, like as your kids, they're always pitched as like the awesome ones, and they kind of suck, dude. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of the world is being bamboozled into thinking that those are. Oh, the Nasdaq hit a new all-time high. Interesting. Well, at least NQ did. And we're at the top of the pre-market high. We're battling that out right now, this white line. Did NDX hit a new all-time high? I believe it did. It did. Dingity ding ding ding, folks. Congratulations. The tech sector has officially hit a new all-time high, which means you could have made a lot of money playing classic blue chip stocks instead of whatever the world's happening in random ass penny stocks. Don't worry, Matt. I too confuse apples with children's cereal names. I know. It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse for sure. All right. Oh, I didn't know it was make fun of Matt Day. Mag 7, the options flow is long and strong. The SPY is long, not as strong as we've seen. We had a little bit of a weird U-turn earlier today, a little bit of a dippity doodah that probably messed some people up, but alas, it ended up being absolutely fine. It ended up being absolutely fine. Oops. No. Fuck. I missed. I missed a trade I should have done. You guys were badgering me about apples. And now I'm financially ruined. And now I am financially ruined. Can't. Oh, that's a bummer. I can't. I mean, it's not even like one of those things where it was close. I'm like 4 minutes off the mark. I should have taken that trade. Son of a gun. It happens. I can't complain that much. We're having a decent day. If I end things today, I'm not mad. Just under $400 per account on the new 50K accounts and just under $800 on the big boy account. So I really don't have much to complain about. I really don't. So it is what it is. It is what it is. If I were to turn things off right now, it'll be a-okay. Tesla, the next level I'm watching is 450. A little bit of a gamma level. If anything, it's a psychological level. And the major gamma level past that is 460. Oracle, I don't know how many. Wait, what? Help me help you. Please comment the main play you're in right now so I know which like tickers to mainly address, not only in the show, but even in the update videos. Like, is the main one you're watching NVIDIA? Is it Palantir? Is it Tesla? Is it Open? Is it BMNR? Is it Oracle? Is it Coinbase? Is it MicroStrategy? Is it Apple? Is it AMD? Is it Avago? Is it NVIDIA? Is it Micron? Is it Texas Roadhouse? Where are you guys at? AMD. The producer's watching AMD. Actually, technical breakout. AMD, equal lows, recapturing the 50 EMA, little trend line breakout. I wouldn't mind that. Producer, I swear to God, if you are playing that for this Friday, I'm going to fly out to Vegas and fucking curb stomp you. Do not play it for this Friday. Give yourself time. Big money comes from big trends. Inherently, you can't have that big of a trend within 1 day or 1 week. The larger your time frame, the bigger the potential trend you could be. Apple, Oracle, Tesla, SoFi, that's one we haven't looked at in a minute. Oh, well, there's no entry here, but if you're in it, ride it. This is what happens when you start cutting rates, and also kids have to start paying back their student debt. I don't see an entry, but if you were already in it, ride the trend, ride the trend. I should probably add that to my watch list over here. SoFi looking good. Open Door almost broke down and then bounced back a little bit, and now it's getting smacked. It's going to end up dumping, but ride it as long as the trend is there. What's AMAT? Applied Materials. Didn't they just have some announcement? Oh, I hate that chart. It's just not trending. What's ONDS? What is this? A telecom equipment company? No clue what it is, but I hate it. No clue what it is, but what is PLNT? I see some people. Planet Fitness. You know? I have a counter argument to Planet Fitness. What is Krispy Kreme? D-Nut. Damn. No one's buying donuts these days. Why the fuck is no one buying donuts? This is proof of dark pools. There is no way you're telling me that Krispy Kreme, the best donut producer of all time, is down 66% year to date. Man. That's a fucking bummer, man. Everyone's on Ozempic. So this is Novo Nordisk, yeah. Novo, Class B. These are all the warrants. What is the Novo? I guess it's Envio? No, sponsored ADR Class B. It'll be close enough. Maybe. Yeah, I guess the Ozempic. Circle, how's that doing? Ooh, not so well. IPO hype. Gets smashed. A little bit of recovery. Rejected at the 50 EMA. Potentially starting another leg down. Whoever just said puts, don't hate it. I'm not playing that personally, but I see what you're doing there. RKLB, what's Rocket Lab up to? Looking decent. Maybe putting in a higher lows here. Not the worst risk. It's a little bit wider than I like relative to the reward, but the trend is strong on it. Trend is strong on it. What's CrowdStrike doing? Pump there. Maybe getting out of this downtrend. So we had a pump, a pullback, more than of a pullback than people probably wanted. A little bit of an issue here at 500. Hang on. Yeah, dude, this shit's going. We're about to make... So NDX hit a new all-time high, and now the Qs are about to as well. Remember, the Qs are an ETF, an exchange-traded fund to track the NASDAQ. So it's not exactly perfect. It's like 99% correlated, but that's sometimes why you have a little bit of a difference, because the NASDAQ 100 NDX is the theoretical perfect index. Qs are an actual ETF, as in they have to do actual buying and selling. So there's transaction costs, there's some slight time delays, there's roll things, like there's other management aspects that you have to consider why it is not like 100% perfect to the index itself that it's supposed to be pegged to. But even with that being said, it's still like 99.9% correlated. So same thing with SPY. SPY versus SPX. SPY is the actual ETF. SPX is the actual theoretical perfect index. Oracle. Dude, we're cooking with taters. We're cooking with taters. We are not far away from a new high on SPX. 6672, the high from Friday that we saw right 5 minutes before the end of the day, basically. Big open interest level at 6675. Big open interest level there. What a recovery we have going on today. What a recovery, folks. What a freaking recovery. Oracle's looking good. Tesla's grinding up 444. You're basically watching, I don't know, set an alert at like 449, something like that. Apple's looking phenomenal. Oracle has a nice recovery. Meta's not doing so good today. Coin tried to recover, getting hit. CoreWeave got dumped out open. Palantir, nothing. Broadcom, not much. Microsoft recovering a little bit. I like it above 512. Nvidia, nothing too special. Hood was going, recently getting hit. Netflix, nothing too special. Rum, just chilling. Open, hit, pop, flat. Oklo, new all-time high, profit taking. Quantum computing, all these guys are down, a little bit of profit taking after a pretty crazy recovery. AMD, that is a nice technical breakout. I didn't play it on AMD. I'm wondering if I should. AMD, I guess throw that on the watch list for the day, because early today I told you Tesla's a watch list, Apple's a watch list. I think I have to upgrade AMD to today looking very interesting. Not in love with how wide that risk is. It's over $10. But if you're playing like October, November plays, I mean, it is a 2-to-1 reward to risk, and you're playing that technical breakout. All right, fine. Let's do a deeper dive just for those of you playing it. I'm a nice guy. Let's see. All right, so the options flow on it intraday has been very strong, going flat now. What's it currently trading at? 161. Okay, it's currently trading at 161. See, this is why I don't like it, because resistance is close. Now, if you're in it, if you got into it a little bit closer to 155, you're close to your support. You're praying for this break of 165, and I get it. Like, you might be like, but dude, we could go to 200. And you're right, we could go to 200, but you have a bit of resistance at 165, 170, 175, 180, 185. These are all long call plays that you don't know if those people are going to choose to take their profits. Actually, at 170, you have sold calls and long puts. That's strange. But you could have a bit of a gamma squeeze because you're getting into negative gamma and it could shoot it all the way up to 200. But on the flip side, if these players choose to lock in their profits, you're going to lose that negative gamma. You'll go either positive or maybe to neutral if they choose to lock it in. So you have to be careful there. The next thing I would look into is when are they expiring? 165. I like the setup. I just wonder if it's already a little bit too far gone. 155. You had to have like kind of a ballsy buy on this gap down on Thursday because it's at 161 and there is resistance at 165. Now, granted, it might break and it might rip, but you just have to consider the risk reward setup. It's interesting. I wouldn't put this as like an A or a B setup trade because of how close that resistance is, but it's a C trade. I mean, there's something interesting. Dude, Oracle's going finally. I felt like a crazy person talking about that one recently. I want this breakout at 320. What time is it? 10:34. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Not far away. The SPY. All right. Let me drop this to the 5-minute. I think that'll be a little bit easier for us to all appreciate and comprehend. Tesla, a little bit of profit. I'm going to wait for 450. Generally, that type of stuff isn't like a midday. Generally see that early on or later. SPY slowly but surely cruising. With respect to momentum, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish. With respect to momentum on the NASDAQ, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bullish. So all 8, the 4 on ES, the 4 on NQ, all momentum is bullish. Looking at price structure, well, clearly bullish. Clearly bullish. Looking at options flow, bullish. Like, if you're bearish, my question is, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, what you'd have to convince me otherwise of like what's going on that you're like, nope, I think this is the top, rather than, oh, it's just like up a lot. Folks, just sometimes we could really simplify this by just simple. What is the momentum? What is the price action? Like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We really don't. And actually, Piper just fired. I'm trying to get that in to. All right. If you're in the Discord, Piper just fired. Heat map, very red. The S&P 500 heat map doesn't look that red to me. Looks like a mixed bag. I don't. Travis, what heat map are you talking about? This heat. I'm not seeing that much red. In fact, some of the biggest tech plays are like specifically green. Remember, the size of their box tells you how much they're weighted. And really, don't think about it of just the red or green. Think about it from market open to where we are now. Which way is it trending? Because that's the way the overall market's going to be trending. Will QQQ break 600 today? Looking likely. History in the making. I mean, we got awfully freaking close. Oh, well, technically we just did. Actually, you could say, yeah, right there. High 600.04, tying the recent all-time high. So you could actually say, yeah, we did make history. You should always consider the size of their box. Chris knows what's up. Chris knows what's up. He knows that you have to consider the size of the box. Open red, going green now. Yeah, someone needs to explain to me why, once again, retail traders are getting tricked into plays like open, especially if you're knowledgeable of AMC, of GME, of Workhorse, of GNS, of CEI, of Doge, of Shiba. If you've lived through any of that, like, why do people keep touching a hot oven, not understanding that the last time they touched a hot oven, they got burned? Is it exclusively new retail traders who are getting conned into this? Like, I just don't I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Oh, no, 50. All right, no, the next one. I guess I could have taken the one trade, but other than that, my stuff has not traded. Has not traded. When is the S&P finally going to drop a lot so I can finally buy it for cheaper? It just keeps going up every day. It's going to be one of those things that when it finally drops, you're going to be convinced that this drop is different than all the other drops, so you're not going to buy the dip. You're going to be convinced that, no, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic that is going to forever ruin the stock market. You're going to be convinced that this housing crash is different than all the others and we're never going to recover. You're going to be convinced that this tech bubble will forever ruin the stock market and we're never coming back. That's the interesting things about, or you're going to be convinced that this president's trade war will forever disrupt global trade and there's no way we're coming back. That's the interesting things about dips in the market is everyone waits for them. And then the second you get a dip, we get convinced that for some reason, this one is different than all the other ones and we're never going to recover. And when you learn that, maybe just white knuckle through it and be like, all right, sometimes you just got to rip it. Sometimes you just got to rip it. And at first it's painful. But I could tell you the day that I loaded up in my long-term account and I told the Discord about it. I hijacked my wife's trading account and I took all of her cash and I started to buy. This day right here. This is the day that I put all of my free cash in the long-term account. Wednesday the 9th. On day 1, I feel stupid. Yes. Day 2, yes. Day 3, not so stupid. Day 4, not so stupid. 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. Stupid, 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 stupid. Back to not feeling so stupid. And then from the 24th until now, I've felt pretty fucking smart. So right there, if you're trying to time the exact day, it's tough. It's really, really tough. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But given enough time, even if, let's just pretend I top ticked it, which I didn't, up 22%. Up 22%. At that moment, doing it, did it feel crazy? Hell yeah, it felt crazy. Felt like I was taking more crazy pills than normal. But alas, it worked. And in reality, I mean, I could show you guys this. Or I'll just, I rarely look at my long-term account. Rarely. My crypto, year to date, my crypto is up 129. And then I have 2 different tech strategies. Year to date, one's up 43 and one's up 58. Actually, a small one's up 46. Just all the tech strategies that I've put on Street Beat. Crushing it. And that's what you got to do. Eventually, dips come. Eventually, rips come. Speaking of rips, dude, what is going on? Is your boy getting lucky right now? Is your boy getting lucky right now? Look at that Oracle play. 54% up 7.6K. When did I get into this? I got into this one on the 19th. I got in on Friday when I was at that Tasty Trade event. So just to swing this over the weekend, to be up almost 8K, not a bad deal, brother. Not a bad deal whatsoever. So I'm green on my NASDAQ play. I'm green on my Tesla play. I'm green on my Spike play. I'm green on my Oracle play. I am red on my CoreWeave play. And I am red on my Coinbase play. So I currently have 6 plays. The Coinbase one is hurting me. I'm not going to lie. But I have time. Why am I just talking like this? I'll just show you guys. I don't need to fucking hide shit. NASDAQ, I'm up 16K. Tesla, I'm up 10. SPY, I'm up 9. Oracle, I'm up 7. CoreWeave, I'm down 1.5. And Coin, this is my bad play. I'm down 6. So overall, obviously net ahead. I mean, 25, 35, 42, 40. So I'm up 35K right now, unrealized. But the Coinbase, I do have time. I mean, I have till mid, and I could always roll it, but I have to admit, in the short term, it feels shitty. Yeah, it feels shitty. But remember, also, if you want those plays, like that's really what we do in the Discord together is discuss not only algorithmic day trading and prop firm trading, but also swing trades and day trades. Like it's the Goonie trading community is a group of people like attempting to put their collective knowledge together. And there's people in there who like day in and day out are teaching me shit. And there's shit in there day in and day out that I'm teaching other people stuff. It's just like a group of people attempting to solve this like fucked up puzzle we call the market together. So if that's something that interests you, like I said, your first month's free anyway. Just make sure to enter that code Goonie when you are signing up on Locals. And when you're signed up on Locals, you can then get it connected to the Discord. So if that's something that interests you, and if it sounds horrible, then don't do it. Dude, I am fucking destroying this play. Move aside, Larry. There is a new sheriff in the town of Oracle, and his name is cognitively ruined fat fuck Matt Kohrs. Dude, Larry Ellison's going to have to step aside. As soon as I make $370.9 more billion, dude, this guy, I'm making up on him. I've made up a bit of distance on this guy. This guy, I'm coming after him. You might be arguing, Matt, he has a huge lead on you in this race, but your boy's picking up steam. I have now officially lowered the delta between my net worth and Larry Ellison's net worth by about $8,000. By about $8,000. And hey, $8,000 today might seem small, but if I keep stacking it up, if I keep stacking this up, billion divided by oh shit divide that by there's 250 trading days in a year. I will officially capture him in a wait, the results are really? I think I'm off by a whole nother because of my typo. Yeah, never mind. Not capture. Never mind. I thought it was going to take 185 years. It was actually going to take, multiply that by 100. So probably thousands of, yeah, that was, all right, never mind. Scratch that. Not capturing him. At this rate, I'll never capture him. Fuck. Larry was sweating there for a second, though. I'll tell you this. It was off by a factor of 1,000, correct. So it a little bit longer than anticipated. But until we figured that out, he was sweating. I'll tell you, if there's one thing I know about my boy Larry, he was sweating there for a second. He thought, if this kid lives to be 210 years old, I'm screwed. One of these days, Lair Bear. He was sweating. Wait, I'm getting health notifications. My Whoop. Is my blood pressure high or low? My sleep recovery, not that anyone asked, was really high last night. I slept like a clam. 92% health or recovery, 87% sleep score. But apparently I'm still fat. My lean body mass is putting me in the obese category, which doesn't sound good. Folks, we are at a new all-time high in the S&P 500, and we're coming up to a key open interest level. So please be careful of a potential shamak. We have some positive gamma here. You want to hold 665, and then you're watching 6695, 710, something like that. That's the next negative gamma. Spot gamma has their implied one-day move high at 6690 about, which is kind of where I have my reach targets right here in between 6690 and 700. So this would be my first major target and then my reach target. So I'd be like, if I were playing like a 0 DTE thing, something like that, I'd scale out a bit here and then I'd have alerts up here for later in the afternoon. Something like that is how I would handle it. But dingity ding ding ding, winner winner chicken dinner. We did hit a new all-time high today. We're at gamma resistance. We're at options resistance. And if we can break that, the next target's up here. At least that's how I view the market, but I'm not your mom. Do whatever you want with your money. Whatever you want with your money. I wouldn't mind a little bit of a smack. I know if you have a 0 DTE, you don't want me to say that, but I wouldn't mind a bit of a smack for me to be able... Whoa, hang on a second. Can I trade this? Hang on, I'm trying to do some quick math. And you guys know quick math is not my forte. $26.50. Oh, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? Did we actually hit it? We did not. Not yet, at least. Not yet. Look at that pump. From 942, we've had an hour. Dude, if you were short this has to be so incredibly painful. If I were betting against the market right now, I'd be punching the air. Be like, seriously? For 1 hour, we don't even get all breather? I'd be losing my fucking mind. All right, I'm throwing in a pending order. Uh, 27. All right, we're gonna see if this gets hit. We're gonna see if this bad mamma jamma gets hit. All
order submitted.
All right, we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see. I'm not the biggest fan of it going long at this level, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Come on. Come on. Hey, Macarena. Come on, come on, come on.
Order canceled.
Come on.
Order submitted.
Let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Let us see. What time is it? 10:50. This is the right time, too. This is the proper time. 100 tick kind of gets my blood pressure going, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. 100 tick has a lot of craziness. Not in love with this, but hey, the system's the system. I'm trying to take myself out of the equation these days. Bullish, 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 great. New all-time high. Bullish, 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 great. New all-time high. We're right at that 75. We have that potential reach target. That's at 22. Oracle's looking really good. Tesla's looking decent. I would love to see 450 this afternoon. Apple's looking phenomenal. Oracle's looking great. Meta, nothing. Coin, Oh, CrowdStrike's picking up out of nowhere. Nice. Okay. Back in the green. Whoa. When did that happen? Look at that recovery on CrowdStrike, folks. Look at that recovery. Wow. Not CrowdStrike, CoreWeave, sorry. I saw this CR, and then I just had random ass alerts popping off over here. I got confused, but not CrowdStrike, CoreWeave, officially back in the green. Kind of wicking below this longer run trend line. Would love to see it push 130. Maybe we're talking about 150, maybe something to pay attention to in October. Palantir, inside day, not trending. Avago, maybe trying to put in a higher low. How's AMD doing? AMD, it's holding that trend line. You want to see it. 162 technical level, 165 is kind of a technical level, but more importantly, that open interest level, watching that trend line over there. AMD, we checked that out. We don't need this. We don't need this. Have we missed any major news on the day? I feel like we haven't checked out the news. Before I do that, though, I just want to let you know about the flow. The Mag 7, strong pump up until 1030, kind of going flat at the moment. Looking at the S&P 500, a couple hiccups here and there throughout the day, but overall, the trend is clearly to the upside. I do want to let you know that we are currently battling it out at this key level. Wouldn't mind if it just quickly finds a base right there. Wouldn't that not mind that in the slightest. Yeah, we're at new highs. Folks, we're in open range breakout territories. All right, did I miss any major news? I covered open at 890. Better shorts out there. May revisit some other time. I will announce my next 100 bagger long position around market open today on X. This guy's such an asshat. Such an asshat. Dude, some of these memes. Oh, you never know what you're gonna get. Like this if I show up in my private Discord. It's been closed for new people almost a year now. Gavin has been scamming his previous subscribers in another Discord by ghosting his subs for many months at a time and not providing the terms and value promise. Ooh, that's brutal. IREN announces the purchase of 1,100 MI350Xs from AMD. Tempest AI. This is a Pelosi play, I believe. Altcoins, Bitcoin, Tylenol. They're trying to link that now to like autism, apparently. I was reading about Russia's Putin's system of nuclear arms controls has been destroyed. What? I guess that's back on the menu. All right. I'm not seeing anything too nuts right now. Not seeing anything too nuts. St. Louis Fed president sees limited room for more rate cuts. Trump administration reportedly plans to link autism to Tylenol use during pregnancy. Pfizer boosts obesity drug prospects with $7.3 billion deal to buy Metsera. Haven't heard of that one. Eric Jackson, who led Open Door meme rip, has a new pick he calls the Shopify of mortgages. Dude, this guy is going to get destroyed by the SEC one of these days. Is there anything? Trump, TikTok's algorithm to be secured by Oracle in Trump-backed deal. Is Oracle now the TikTok play?
Says that Oracle will recreate and provide the security for a new version of TikTok's algorithm. Under the deal, owners of the U.S.-based version of TikTok will lease a copy of the algorithm from ByteDance. And then Oracle is essentially going to serve as the gatekeeper here, continuously monitoring and operating that algorithm. The official said the data will be kept in a secure cloud and that ByteDance will not have any access to U.S.-based users' information on the platform. The algorithm, of course, has long been a sticking point in these negotiations negotiations. And we should add, at this point, it's unclear if this will satisfy the national security law passed by Congress, though the White House is certainly hoping it will. An official tells us that President Trump is planning to sign an executive order later this week, cementing his approval of the deal, though worth mentioning also that we heard from China's foreign ministry on Friday, and they fell short of a full endorsement. As we've been reporting, the structure of a likely TikTok deal is going to take the shape with ByteDance leaving with a less than 20% stake, and then the outside U.S. investors holding a greater majority, including companies like Oracle. The White House had announced over the weekend some additional details, too, that 6 out of 7 of the board seats will be held by Americans. That final seat will be held by ByteDance. John, as you well know, the backdrop to all of this are the ongoing trade negotiations with Beijing. But as our analysts at Bloomberg Economics point out, while this deal, this movement on TikTok perhaps helped to secure that face-to-face meeting that we're expecting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping next month, we're still well away from a fuller, broader trade deal.
Well, maybe a little bit to do with Oracle there. SPY keeps pushing, looking for it to hold 75. Like I said, if you're holding it past this point, if we can successfully hold this, if we make this beautiful trend of higher highs and higher lows, if you ask me, the next level of interest is this 10-point region between 6,690 and 6,700. Just seems to be a high level of basic positioning on the day here. Would love to hold 50, 6,670. We got above that, 6,680. You have people playing the 90s. You have 700. You have these positive gamma nodes. So levels of interest, to say the least. Would love a little bit more of an extra follow through here on the Q so I can lock in my little scalp trades. I'm currently break even on these. Currently break even. Kind of wish I got in not on this breakout, but on this, because I would have actually already been out on that first pump, and then I could go enjoy my lunch peacefully. I can enjoy my lunch peacefully. What time is it? 11. Dude, this might refire here. Another bullish play. Well, folks, kind of somewhat of a straightforward, easy setup day. We had a little bit of profit taking post pre-market. Things stabilized. We got that first initial push to the previous closing value, high odds play. We're getting the follow through. We're currently sitting at new all-time highs and also key option level resistance, but we're stabilized. And maybe through lunch, we just kind of chop around a little bit, and hopefully there's just no profit taking and we could get a secondary push into close. Obviously no promises, but the overall market looking pretty good. Well, they have to be looking good when you hit a new record high. In terms of individual equities, Tesla's catching my eye. Apple's catching my eye. I do have a position on Tesla, not Apple. Oracle, I have a position on. Really like it. Riding some of this TikTok news, wanting that breakout of 320. Meta's not doing much. Coinbase, it was looking good, but Bitcoin got hit over the weekend. So, CoreWeave, CRWV, on that edge of the breakout. I do have a position there. Palantir
Order
holding.
filled.
Hey, got to fill. Sorry. I just want to show you locked in, no position. So the Optimus variant of, damn, that's a gain. So I've only done 2 trades today, and I made just under $700 on all of those accounts, and I made 1.3, so double this on the big boy accounts up here. Not a bad day. 2 trades and looking pretty decent. Looking pretty freaking decent. They still can keep trading today. In fact, I think they could trade one more time today. I might turn it off, though, because, I don't know. I feel like every time I go from eval to performance, the day one is the first day that I severely fuck things up. So just as a small psychological win, I don't know. I'm torn. Should I take this psychological win of getting over that barrier? Because recently I've been doing this thing where I'm working on the Icarus and the variants, and I pass the test, and then the first day I get the PA, I just kind of go on tilt and get fucked up. So that would be nice to buck that trend. But then on the other side of it, when you're trading systematically, you should never be emotional. You should just take exactly what the system tells you to do. So I'm a little torn, because the math side of me says, no, you stick to the system. You don't let your emotions get in control. The other side of me is saying, well, hang on. It's already up nicely today. You could lock that in, get the nice psychological win, and maybe that'll give you a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more of a confidence boost to follow everything going forward. So like I said, I'm a little torn. I'm a little torn on it, but I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'm going to go hang out in the Discord, ride the trend, stick to your trading plan. Don't get over leverage. Happy Monday. Get prepared for the rest of the week. The big news for tomorrow that you should be mindful of is 15 minutes into the trading day, we have S&P Global Services and Manufacturing PMI, and then midday, 12:30, technically 12:35, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, will be doing another public conference, most likely just talking about the state of the economy. So I want to put those on your radar for tomorrow. At any moment, we could get an update of kind of the trade deal silliness with India and also with China. Other than that, we kind of went over the equities that I find interesting, but most importantly, I will be doing that update video later on. Question for all you guys. Obviously, here at I don't know, Goonie Productions, our entire goal is to make videos that you guys find true value in. And if you guys have noticed, the update videos recently have been a lot more related to individual tickers rather than the state of the overall market and the economy. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you guys like that pivot? Do you like the individual technical price action story and options breakdown of the individual equities? Or are you like, nah, fuck that, man. Go back to talking about the overall market. Recently, we've been laying into, my producer has been noting what tickers you guys have been talking about the most. So we've been trying to make our content that. So a lot of you guys recently have been talking about Tesla, Palantir, NVIDIA, Open, hence we've been making those videos. Do you like that? Or are you like, no, man, I just want to know about the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ? Let us know. I'm reading the comments right now. Talk about Oracle, SPY, Q. Okay. Like everything, both. Okay, so a lot of you are saying individual equities, and then some of you are actually saying both. All right, now there's a couple saying overall market, everything. Well, of course, when something happens in SPY Qs, I'll call it out, and like I even show you my positions and whatnot. Okay, I appreciate the feedback. As always, we're very much open to any criticism. Constructive criticism would be a bit better, but obviously our whole goal is to make content you guys find to be the most valuable to help you on your own trading journey. So I appreciate that. Before I let you go, don't forget to sign up for Apex. It is free to download. It is free to sign up, and use that link pinned to the top of chat because you're going to start out at a higher rebate tier. If you are an options trader, an aspiring options trader, there is nothing I could say more than the fact that I think you should really check out Public. It's a great way to get started, and it's a great way to start earning those rebates on the trading you're going to be doing anyway. So check that out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And I know that some of you are on different brokerages. Remember, you can have multiple brokerages, and in all reality, I would actually argue that you're going to end up liking this one better. You're going to see those rebates come in, and it's just absolutely awesome. So just wanted a special shout out there. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. I'll see you in the update video later on today, and then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. Hope to see you there. Appreciate all the good vibes. Happy Monday. Peace.